is a war. It's happening now. It will decide the fate of humanity. The time to choose sides has come. We are the resistance. We are the InfoWar. U.S. Army builds fake city in Virginia to practice military occupation. That story's up on Infowars.com. It's the middle column of DrudgeReport.com as well. Martial law training, 300-acre town includes sports stadium, school, underground subway. The U.S. Army has built a 300-acre fake city, complete with sports stadium, school, and underground subway in order to train for unspecified future combat scenarios. The recently opened site is located in Virginia and was built at a cost of $96 million, taking just 2 years to complete. While the city was ostensibly built to prepare U.S. troops for occupation of cities abroad, some will undoubtedly fear the real intention will be closer to home. Although the site includes a mosque, the town looks like an American city in every other way, with the signs in English. The fact that a Telegraph reports the subway carriages even carry the same logo as the carriages in Washington, D.C., could suggest the site was built to both double as a foreign city and as a mock domestic town. Well, the whole military's training is their main mission, domestic, so, and their enemy being the Tea Party. So, according to Colonel John P. Petkoski, this is the place where we can create, where we can come up with solutions for problems we don't know we have yet. This is where we'll look at solutions for the future, material solutions and non-material solutions, anything from how you're going to operate in a subterranean environment to how you dismount a Humvee to avoid IED strike. The increasing demonization of domestic political groups as extremists has prompted numerous scenarios where commentators have suggested the U.S. Army and National Guard personnel could be needed to quell civil unrest. This is a very, quote, fairly written article by Paul. I'm not criticizing our writer, but to the point of almost absconding with the truth. This is all for domestic operations with a separate dual training operation internationally. The whole thing is geared up for us domestically. The bullets, the training, the manuals, that's official National Guard announcements, quote, preparing to crush a Tea Party rebellion, and then the gun owners are going to attack and all this. In a 2012 academic study about the future use of military as a peacekeeping force within the United States, written by a retired Army colonel, depicted a shocking scenario in which U.S. Army is used to restore order in a town that's been seized by Tea Party insurrectionists, close quote. The study dovetailed a leaked U.S. Army manual, which revealed plans for the military to carry out civil disturbance operations, including confiscating firearms, quelling riots, mass civil unrest, and, quote, how we would be re-educated. This is on the Army's website, folks. I'm not making this up. They even used the Soviet term. So it's a good article. He gets into all the meat at the end, and I guess it's very journalistic. He writes it as if it could be two different things, but we know what it is. So at a certain point, it's like there's this modern journalistic thing where you don't say, it's like a red fire engine pulls up and you go, the fireman claimed it was a red Ford fire truck they were driving, and it said Ford on it, and it was red, and it had chrome all over it, and there was a Dalmatian sitting in the back. And then I watched it turn on its sirens and drive down the road and spray water on stuff. I mean, it's just Army times everything, 24/7. Yes, Brigade Homeland. Yeah, we're going to take your guns. You know, when they confiscated guns in New Orleans for like 2 weeks, people didn't believe me when I was on air playing local newscast. Now everybody knows that happened, but the issue is there's this denial right up front that has to stop. And I'm not criticizing Watson. I don't have time to call up and give him pointers, when I'm off air. Not that I have all the answers. He gives me a lot of pointers as well. It's just that, all of us just, this is what is happening, myself included. The tyranny is so naked now that we've almost got tyranny fatigue, where we're just so used to it now that we're like, well, we guessed it could be for some good uses. Obviously, they need to know how to dismount a Humvee for IED attack, or how to land a helicopter in an area where it doesn't have IEDs. Don't land where it's a good landing spot. That's the rule. Land 100 yards away randomly. Land where it's hard to land. But you don't do that in a mock city in English with Washington, D.C. signs while you're training for domestic war and all your manuals, and then you say, oh, no, it's not for domestic. The globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding, making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
The brainwashing media machine has been turned up on high, and it's time for humanity to double down on the true people's media and strike back against the tyrants that are destroying our civilization with their lies and fraud. We are the resistance. You are the resistance. You are the InfoWar. It is more important than ever to realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the InfoWar to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv.